Welcome to Echoes and Ember podcast, brought to you by Florida Farrier Service. I'm Terry Wilbur,
I'm Clayton Wilbur.
and we're with Lisa Miller and Amanda Neal from Current Healing Solutions. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. We're going to talk a little bit about Equiscope and how it works in the equine world and the human world, and also the canine world. So, could you guys tell us a little bit about the history of Equiscope?
Equiscope started back in the 80s. There was a gentleman, John Thorpe, and his wife, Lisa Thorpe. They're the ones that have it now. John Thorpe used to be a stuntman and with Lee Majors, and he had a very bad accident on his knee, and he had multiple surgeries. And by the time he got done with the multiple surgeries, the doctor said, this is the best you're going to get. You're going to have a cane. You're not going to be jumping out of planes anymore. You're not going to go doing any more stuntman work. Well, that wasn't good enough for him. So Lee Majors had told him that there's a machine that I think you need to try on yourself. So at that point, it was the Equiscope and the MyoPulse. So that's what originated it. And then he did use it, and he felt some difference. So he got with his doctors and scientists, and he created what we have now is the Equiscope. So it's just not for people, it is for horses and humans, even though it's Equiscope. So he was very athletic, and he ended up plating his leg, his knee, four plates every day for a year. When he got done, he ended up running a triathlon, and he ran his fastest time that he ever ran. And beyond what doctors believed of you'll always walk with a cane, he proved them wrong. So it's been around for a long time. It's proven healing, microcurrent and healing the cells. So it's been around for a while, and there's a lot of success stories with it.
That's awesome. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So, Equiscope can be used on horses, humans, and dogs, and other animals. Tell us a little bit about what a session looks like when you're working on people or animals.
When we do horses or dogs, my daughter is my business partner, and my daughter, of course, pretty much let her do the dog end of it. But we do horses and dogs. They're the same thing. We have the different tools that we have, which are plates and rollers that we apply to the animal depending on where the point of pain is. It could be, their ACL. Amanda had worked on a dog. She can tell you a little bit about that. And then the horses, same thing. We kind of want to find out what the issue is so we can pinpoint that specific area and target all the energy on that spot.
So basically what you're saying is a diagnosis is huge for what you're
Correct.
doing.
If we can get
Yes.
a vet doctor, behind us and say, listen, this is what you need to get, the energy to, then it just helps us do so much better, faster, quicker healing to get everything talking and
So
working
at the
together.
end so at the end of the day, without that, you're just chasing inflammation.
Yes.
Correct. We are able to obviously, so going back to with a session, we're going to then talk to our client and say, hey, what do you have going on? What are you seeing? Do you have a diagnosis? Do you have imaging? All of that fun stuff. Find out what's the area of concern if we can pinpoint it, because we cannot diagnose, cure, treat any of that fun stuff that we leave up to the doctors. So once we have that, or they're just saying, hey, I'm riding and they just feel a little bit off on, the left or the right or whatever it may be. It gives us an area to focus on. That's when her and I then consult and we say, okay, what acupressure points can we use? Because that is also going to help not more so, but in conjunction with the point of pain. So if it's something like a tendon injury, we can do a through and through, and we can really target that, but also using acupressure points to then be able to target more so than just that small area and really give that horse or that dog as much energy as we can give them to be able to heal.
The goal is to get rid of inflammation and increase range of motion. So by the end of that session, you basically see a difference in that.
And it typically, we do have the different tools and all of that, but typically the protocol is about an hour. So we do the consult, we come out, we figure out our game plan, we put the plates on, or we use the tools. It's going to be about an hour, and then afterwards, just as important before, is hydration.
So now, for your horse people out there that are seeking that next best thing to get your horse running and all that stuff, my understanding is this is not like an injection where we're covering up injuries or covering up things that there's a possibility that we could create more damage.
Correct.
Which the understanding is all we're doing is creating better perfusion of blood supply and helping to fight the
Increasing
inflammation,
healing, yeah.
which think about what an injection does.
Mm-hmm.
They use the steroid to decrease the inflammation, and then the HA to bring lubrication back to the joint. So very similar, but it's not the same.
Right. It's just trying to heal on a cellular level.
And
Is what we're
the
doing.
beauty of this too is there are some horses that have a lot of points that need to be injected, and if you're using a steroid, you can only use so much of
Only
it.
do so many.
So with this, we can put all of these different plates, and we can really tackle it with the acupressure points plus the point of pain to be able to tackle multiple concerns without having to worry about that horse getting more of, a steroid or something like that, or it's unable to get any more. So we have that
Or
flexibility.
prolong it.
Right.
It does detox the body. So we do have to be careful, and we do ask the clients, when was the last time your horse was injected? We like to wait 10 days to 2 weeks before, because by hitting all the acupressure points, it does push the energy through. So with that, it finds things that shouldn't belong there, so it wants to push them out. So it detoxes out. So we want all that to stay in the body. And then once that has been done and they've been injected, a month later, 2 months later, if they start seeing something a little bit, we can come in, because like Amanda says, maybe it's a little bit somewhere else too that you didn't notice. So once they start feeling good in one area, they might find something else that doesn't need an injection, but it just kind of pops up. So it's nice just to be able to maybe put a little bit of healing on that and get some energy in there, get rid of that inflammation, maybe on the neck, somewhere that you're not expecting.
Right, and it sounds to me there are several horses that can't have steroid injections. So this might be an opportunity for them to reduce the inflammation without the medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's just like we have a case here recently that came to me they brought another horse in here for me to work on, and they brought a horse for me to work on, and brought another horse in for kind of a buddy to be there with them, and we're looking at this horse, and I'm like, I'm concerned about that one. The one they brought for us to work on, we were more concerned about the other one, and Lisa was there at the time, and I was like, hey, you have time to work on another one?
actually, she wasn't here at the time.
No, we called her in.
We called her in.
Yeah, we called her
I was
in.
in
Said,
town,
how
yeah.
far are you?
How far are you?
And what's going on? Because this horse looks terrible. He had no life.
And she was leaving her daughter's house for good with her grandson.
Yeah.
So,
She said, "Here's the baby. I got to go help the horse." I'm like,
Yes.
"Okay, bye."
yeah. So, and I mean, that horse, you did what, 2 to 3 sessions on that horse from when I saw him the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I myself didn't really do anything to the horse that time. And the horse came back, and I was like, oh my gosh, that didn't look like the same horse.
Even when he left here, remember?
Right.
His eye, he just looked,
I mean,
he just looked sad,
didn't feel
tired.
good. He didn't feel
just,
good.
yeah, he just didn't have any energy in his body or whatever. So,
And
but
we
when it got
changed the
done,
horse's diet around,
and he
would
yawned a
work on
ton of times, the owner was shocked at the releases and how much this horse just enjoyed that session. And it was just satisfying. That's why Amanda and I do it, just to see the different releases. People can talk to you and say, hey, I feel better. But when horses do that and they have those type of reactions, it's just so satisfying
It's huge.
to see.
And that was the first time we saw that client.
Right.
So I think we kind of
I thought we were going to
Shocker.
scare her off.
and she's like, I said, no, I just called somebody that I think could really help your horse because I feel really bad. And she goes, my horse has been off. We've been seeing this. We know something's going on. We just don't know what it is. And it was really heartbreaking, to be honest. And Lisa knows I'm not going to call if I really don't need it right then.
Especially with my grandbaby.
So she came right away and worked on that horse, and the owner was forever grateful because it made a huge difference. That horse looked completely different when it left here that day.
Yeah, we've done
And-
multiple sessions on him since, and she's still just thrilled.
and has continued to improve and is a different horse.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Just-
definitely does make a difference.
And it wasn't just his eye that he felt better. Like when we saw him the second and
throat
third
and
time,
everything.
Yeah, his whole body just changed. It was just like taking, if we walk around, all the weight is on our shoulders. It just felt like all was there, and it just kind of lifted that up and just made him feel light, and he just looked happy.
Absolutely.
And that's the blessing and the curse of this machine too, is it does so much more on the inside that we don't see than on the
yeah.
outside. And so sometimes it's hard to portray how beneficial this can be because it might be helping the kidney, the liver, the organs, the things that you don't see. And because we're using those acupressure points, it's touching so much more than just
That we
healing that
don't know.
injury.
Yeah.
So it could be bladder, it could be all these different things I had a funny story with the bladder. I had one horse that we were working on that has heaves, and we were doing a lot of stuff for the lungs. And there's an acupressure point on the bladder meridian, because we do a lot of Chinese medicine with this as well, using Eastern medicine. And during the middle of the session, this mare, which we had done at that point probably 9 sessions,
9 or 10
so we
sessions.
knew this horse very well. And I'm not kidding. I think I was rolling her. So I'm like sitting on my toolbox, rolling her in her front chest. And I kid you not, it was like the floodgates of her bladder opened up, and she had this
Peed
huge
for
release
a long time.
and peed all over the place. I'm like, yay! I'm so glad that we had this release, but why did it have to be when I'm so close to you?
Right. It kind of weighs everything
So
up.
Yeah, so
I mean,
there's-
that's exactly it. When you don't realize different things that these acupressure points that are working, getting that energy in there and moving that energy around makes a difference on stuff we don't see.
But
But we see.
that particular horse that we saw, I didn't even shoe him that day. I mean, he just, I was like, we got to get him feeling better. There's no sense in me putting shoes on him and doing all this, because it's all going to change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then when he came back, and we did kind of push the envelope, because he was headed out to the
Yeah, they were going to
the
radio.
youth national finals,
Yep.
and I wanted to shoe him then, but I was like, it's not going to do any justice. It's not going to serve any justice.
Get them healthy. Get them healthy on a cellular level, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's what's so good about working with everybody. You know, it doesn't take one person to heal a horse by all means.
No, and then no matter
Teamwork.
It's
how good
definitely
you are or
team.
what you do, that's not going to happen. You know.
No, there's way too
Well,
many.
and they can work so well together. Like, we have a lot of people that ask us, they're like, oh, we do different modalities, this, that, and other. I have a body worker coming. I'm like, awesome. Let us come do a session before your body worker comes, 24, 48 hours, and have them then work on them. And we'd love to hear it. Mom will tell you a story about one that, a case that we've done that it was really beneficial too. But we're able to break through a lot of that stuff that they might not be able to. And then when they do get that body work, they're getting so much more out of it. So we're working together and able to get the horse or the dog so much more benefit out of these modalities when they're used in conjunction the right way. So it's fantastic.
So you can use it with PMF, 10.
100%. We like the next day or 12, 24 hours, 48 hours after, but it's great working with chiropractors, with massage therapists, with Beamer, with Equivibe. I mean, I have all those actually, and I just alternate different,
Laser.
modalities to do it, on the horse. So
And you
it
use all
works
the
great.
above, right?
Yeah, I have them all, so I've used it. I'm not just saying I got red light therapy. It just all works well because it's just about blood flow, and that's what Clayton said. Get the blood flow going, and things can start healing. So if we can kind of kickstart that with the energy, then all the others are just going to flow right through and keep it and keep it healed a little bit longer, hopefully.
So if you had to explain it to someone who's never heard of it before, how would you explain it? Say you're explaining it to a 10 or 12-year-old kid. So on a simplified version, how would you explain it?
So basically, it's obviously energy. I don't know if kids know about like car batteries, but our cells are capacitors, right, that hold energy. So it works on a positive and negative charge. So our body has that. So we have to put that energy back into our bodies to help the cells be able to stay strong, to be able to fight off inflammation. So just like a car battery or tractor battery, or their toys, their toys go, they get low on battery and the parents have to change it, right? So it's the same concept. We're putting just energy in the body at a cellular level and letting that body absorb that energy so that the energy can flow and stay strong and help your body or the toy play longer, let the kid be able to play with it longer because that energy is there, pushing through there and keeping it strong and being able to fight off disease or fight off inflammation.
And that makes complete sense, and therefore it can't hurt you.
It can't hurt you.
There's nothing.
The machine's been around since the 80s, and it's a Class 2 medical device, FDA-approved medical device, and there's not been one malpractice lawsuit against it.
Wow.
So I can't do you too much, but it's up to you. If if I end up doing your horse and you're like, well, when do you have to come back? We try to do 3 sessions. Within a week, as soon as we can within that week.
Right.
So the closer the better, because we try to target the area that you're concerned with. And then the next time we have plates and rollers that then we try to do other areas because that's pushing energy and inflammation out of one area. So we want to make sure we target another. And then the third one, we do what's called a systemic. So that covers the whole body. So that really targets on flushing out all the toxins, anything that's in that body that isn't supposed to be there, and get that body to the best it can be at that point. And then after that, it may be 6 months, it may be a year, it may be a week. Every horse is different. But that's the best protocol that we can do if you're starting out, is try to do 3 sessions within, that first week.
Right. Now, what would you recommend to someone prior to you doing the sessions? Is there anything that they need to do to prepare for you coming?
Yeah.
Drink as well for animals and for humans, because humans also can get done. Making sure that you're hydrated not just with water, but electrolytes and minerals, vitamins, things like that. Because think of it, if we are breaking up these toxins in your body, what it then will do is then travel to your lymphatic system, and then you will secrete it out.
Right.
If you are not flushing it out, everything that we just broke up is still in your body, so you're not going to get as much of a relief, or it's not going to hold as long because you still have the toxins in your body. So the more that you can drink and push all of that through, the potentially longer your session will last, and the better that you're going to get out of your session. And that's just like with horses, making sure they have electrolytes, if you're able to, or salt block, things like that, to make sure that they're drinking water is super, super important.
Okay. With humans, is there anything that they need to do other than just hydrate prior to it? Like, are there any things that they shouldn't do prior to it?
Well, they can't, once we do a session on humans and horses, we don't recommend them going swimming, taking a shower, keeping the water field off of them for 4 to 6 hours to keep the energy field inside of them. So we wouldn't want that. So if you're going to go swimming or wash your horse or do any of that, do all that before, or do it the next day afterwards. Keep that energy in their system. Again, with people, they need to drink, same thing. It's just hydration. Amanda and I refer to it all the time. It's like a river. If, a river starts drying up, that flow just trickles through. Right. Well, we just put a lot of energy in your horse, so you got to keep that energy flowing through there. So the more water is in that river, the faster it's going to flow and the more productive it's going to be. It's the same with us. So the more hydration you can stay, do that. Don't take showers if they are on some type of medication. A lot of horses take medication or whatever. Do it after the session.
Okay.
Because before, we'll end up probably detoxing it out. So, any supplements or whatever, just feed them at dinner time instead, or, after the session.
Okay. And if you're a person, then just take your shower prior to the session.
Yes.
Not
Because you'll want to
afterwards.
go to sleep night afterwards.
Yes. It does make you sleep very, very well.
And that's the other thing is,
Nice
if you are tired, get the rest. And same, you might see your horse lay down and go to sleep afterwards. That's awesome. We want to see that, because that's the body then using all that energy to heal.
You also see your horses have, urinate a lot, or potentially have
Diarrhea.
loose stool, diarrhea, anything like that. And all that is doing is showing that it's all releasing like it's supposed to.
Right. Those are great things for us. People get so concerned or worried, and we're ecstatic. We're like, oh, yay, Or one horse we worked on, and afterwards, poor little thing, coughed a big hunk of phlegm out. Wow. And they're like, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh my gosh. Our reactions were totally different, the owners and mine. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, that's a change. Yes. That's what we want. We're looking for a change. We need something, because with this working internally on some things that we can't see, that's something we can see. So that was able to get that out of that horse that they couldn't cough it up otherwise. So it broke loose. That energy got in there, pushed it loose, and the horse was able to cough it out.
Wow.
So little things like that,
Right.
it makes a difference. And that's what we like seeing.
And so with humans, is there anything that you've seen specifically that it works on the best when you're working on a human? What are the typical reasons you would work on a human?
Inflammation. People just don't have the range of motion that they have. Their knee.
Neuropathy too.
Yeah, neuropathy, just trying to get that blood flow going. So anything we can do. My mom ended up having shoulder replacement surgery, so she was, struggling. She lives 5 hours from me, so she doesn't come often, but when she does, we definitely get her hooked up and get her, and she's great, for the time she's here. but she loves painting, she loves mowing, she loves doing
Right.
all the things that, doesn't help it hold. So that's the other thing. We can't say how long it's going to hold. Every body is different. So it depends on how long it's going to hold, on what you do, to it, on how many more sessions you can do. If she was closer, it'd be a, big difference. So I get, 2 or 3 with her while she's here, and then she feels great. And then, I talk to her a week later. She's like, oh, yeah, it's kind of a little sore again. I'm like, what'd you do, Mom?
Oh, I went to Zumba Tuesday and Thursday, and then I painted.
Because
And
she feels so good. So she's able to go and do something. So you're getting that inflammation out of there, and it just makes you feel better, so you want to do more.
Absolutely. We had a conversation with a neighbor yesterday that went and had a back injection, and she said, it's been a year since I had to have one. And Clayton said, well, I wish mine would last that long. And she said, well, young man, you're a little bit more active than I am. So it
A little bit.
has a lot to do with what you do. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you can't have it too many times. So that's the benefit of this.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you see farriers, vets, and body workers working together with this modality? Working with farriers especially, we've seen a lot of great success with just one treatment after doing it. So
And you know what horse I'm going to with this one, when you can't pick up her hind leg.
Yes.
Yes.
But now you can.
Yes.
So that is one success story that we did, that working with
That's
the
a
farrier works.
PSSM, Kim.
Was
Case.
vet, right. So we didn't diagnose it. It was already diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
We knew what the problem was. We targeted Chinese acupressure points to loosen
Mm-hmm.
up the muscles, because they would have to end up having to sedate the horse just to pick up her right hind.
And honestly, it was both hinds to an extent. I mean, sometimes it was both hinds,
Yeah.
but the right hind was always the big problem. And the left is not even a question.
Yeah.
The right, I mean, you still got to be easy with her, all that. But gosh, she doesn't have to be sedated anymore. The owner would have to sedate her and all that mess, and it was aggravating. The only time that we have to, if she comes on her 5-hour trip here and doesn't get a rest.
Yeah. Right.
That's the only time that horse has to be sedated to trim that leg. Now, if she comes, that's a hard trip on a PSSM horse, and
In summertime too, in the heat.
Yes,
But
yes.
for her to get that little bit of benefit is huge.
but if she can come here and she can sit for a couple hours, and I always kind of like it when she shows up and we're running a little bit behind, because that mare can sit in the stall and chill in
Yeah,
front of
drink
the
some
man,
water and
but if she can't, well then, she's got to sedate her for us,
yeah.
and that's a great one too with the body worker as well.
Yeah, it's like a twofer, because within that same time frame, we had done that session that night. She had come, and then the next day, so she had some time. You were able to see her on the same day, so it was the next day you were able to do it, and you were able to trim her foot that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
She was still yawning and licking from that night to
Yes.
in the stall.
Yeah.
She hauled home that night, and then the next day, her equine massage therapist came, and the mare was still yawning. The next day, was shocked at the amount of flexibility that this mare had, and that was her first session she ever had. I mean, she just couldn't believe it. So to your question, this works great with everything, with the farriers, the
And how long were we
chiropractors,
dealing with
everything.
that horse? I mean, how long, I've been dealing with that horse for 2 years,
And that therapist had been massaging her for many times before
Yeah,
that
this
too,
is
so
not
she
the first
knew,
time.
Right.
so she could see really truly the
huge
change.
difference.
And it was farriers and practitioners that worked on that horse, and they just thought she was being a jerk. She got spankings and she got everything else over it, and when physically she just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that's why that horse ended up here, because I understand the disease or the part of it that what it is, and I'm like, we're not going to do this.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a fight. If she can give you all 3 feet and not one, something.
And never even pick her head up. She'd sleep through it, and then all of a sudden she can't take it. No, there's something wrong.
That's the fun thing about just giving them some type of relief.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we did. We just put energy in her body, on a cellular level, and just give her that. So it's nice to have the farrier and the equine massage just kind of back you up, going, man, like pat your back. Good job.
Right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're all just doing good job.
Right, absolutely. And and for you farriers out there watching this, and veterinarians, I hope that are not too proud to accept it.
Try it. It
Try
can't
it.
hurt.
What do you got to lose? And farriers, if 2 horses on your route, accept it, or the clients will let these people or people in the industry work on these horses. Well, that's 2 horses you don't have to fight.
And it can be something, I mean, there's another referral that we got from you guys that we're actively doing, and I think we are coming up on our fifth session. We've done 4 already, and just getting circulation to the feet. Just has terrible feet and just needs circulation, blood flow. So we're using these plates to get blood flow down to the feet and just get promoted blood flow. So it doesn't have to be a gaping open wound or this
Or a horse
completely
that
crippled. Yeah, it can be something so simple, emotional things. Anything that acupuncture can help with, we're just adding some steroids, not steroids medication, but just, amplifying what that can do. So if someone is like, oh, I don't know if it would help my horse, look up, could acupuncture help X, Y, and Z? And if it says yes, then we could most likely help. And you can always reach out to, of course, and ask us questions. We're more than happy to answer.
And it all helps with our last talk that we had, our last podcast that we had was with Yannick, and he said his goal is just to balance the horse. Well, you know what, guys, it's all the same. It's our whole goal.
All around, yeah.
And with Yannick, with Lisa, with the goal is the same, is to create balance. Hers does it on a molecular level. He does it physically. We try to do it with the feet, and trying to do it alone, you don't accomplish.
No, that's what I said. It's a team. I mean, it's a team effort. You think you can take care of a horse by yourself? God bless you.
Right.
Please let me know your secret.
And she's been through it this year.
Yes.
She's been through it.
The home stretch.
Middle of 2024 started out a rough go for Miss Lisa, and I felt so bad for her, and even the vet felt bad for her.
But we're getting there.
We gave it all we had. There's a little light.
Yeah, there's a lot of light. There's a lot of light.
But the bonus of that is she did have this machine to help.
Yes.
And the other modalities that she has. She was able
Yes.
to throw it all at the horses that needed the help personally and give them that opportunity to show her. And I think that's when she really started to see what this was and what possibilities it had, because you didn't come into this as a career.
No.
You're retired.
I'm retired. I'm supposed to enjoy my grandbaby.
I'm supposed to enjoy my child.
Guess what? Neither one of them. They're doing it, but a lot less than they wanted.
Right. So that was the only reason you got into it, was for your personal horses.
Yes.
And now it has shown you what it can offer to others. And
I
you
can't
just
keep
wanna
quiet
share
about that. Yeah, I can't keep quiet about that. And then, of course, Amanda's seeing the difference as well. She's like, oh, I'm on board. Let's do it. So, she's got a 5-month-old baby.
He comes with us.
We go to sessions. We do. If you're calling, like my horse, like I said, you call. If I'm available, I'm coming to you. Same thing. If we get a babysitter, we're coming to you. We have 2 machines now. That's how much we believe in it. So, we didn't make that investment just because. It's just more.
And I'll say, in addition to her horses, there's one case also that I think really opened both of our eyes up to it, and it was actually a thoroughbred. And I was pregnant at the time. I'm pretty sure I was like 7 months pregnant at the time. And we got a call, and this girl was saying, hey, we are going to end up doing the March sale. So, and I was due in March, so that's how close we were to the end.
Moment.
Yeah, and she's like, I have a 2-year-old thoroughbred that I'd like you to work on. And my dad's like, absolutely not. You are not taking my pregnant daughter to go work on a 2-year-old thoroughbred. We're like, how's his demeanor? He's good. We're like, I'll stand outside the stall. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So I was like, load up. He doesn't need to know. He's busy. So we loaded up and went. Told my husband after the fact too. So we loaded up and went. And the owner, her husband, was jockeying the horse and breathing him. So he was like, it's not opening up. Like, he just has his back legs very collected, and they're trying to breeze him, and they have obviously the stats and everything because they're looking at stride and all of that fun stuff. So long story short, we're doing the session, and we just targeted acupressure points on the back end because we didn't have, he has an SI problem. He has a stifle problem. We didn't have anything diagnosed. So we're like, all right, let's work on just hind end acupressure points. So we did the session. It was very interesting. Had some little, quirks to him when she would touch around his stifle. And we're like, all right, just taking a mental note. And that's the other thing is we really want the clients to be there, especially when we do the first session. I'm asking you, does he normally paw like that? Does he normally have his head up, and is he very antsy? Because I want to make sure you shouldn't feel anything when we do this session.
Right.
Humans, horses, dogs. So we're really looking at the demeanor, and if they're picking their head up or anything like that, I can adjust the intensity. We don't want to piss off the thing that we're trying to help. It's a little bit counterproductive.
Right.
So we're like, does he normally kind of like move, kick out a little bit and just, he's like, no. We're like, okay. So we just kind of kept a mental note on it. And by the end of the session, she was Y-probing that exact stifle. And he was like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. The next day he rode him and was like, wow, like I could barely hold on. Like
Everything he had to
it
hold
like
on.
fire breathing dragon ready to go.
We were so excited with that.
We're like, this is
She
great.
drank lots of water, he laid down. We're like, so we were happy. We're like, yay, feels better.
And then you get the text the following day.
Of a picture of the stats, because we're new to the racehorse world on how they can do that. I barrel race and all that. We don't have stats like that. But the next text was, oh my gosh, her stride opened up 2.13 feet.
Wow.
I mean, I had tears in my eyes. I remember exactly where I was over at a wedding in Hopetown and got the text and just started tearing up because that proved there was a difference.
That was one session.
That was one session. And we did other sessions. We did
And that's
3 or 4
rewarding.
sessions. Right. That's why I came out of retirement.
You're right.
Because if we
When
can
you
help
see
somebody on a
it
cellular
like
level,
that, you can't deny it.
yeah.
Right. Well, and when you guys are super passionate about it, and you're out of retirement, but you're really not.
It's fun.
And-
People say do what you love.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand that now 1,000%. I was in a family business, which I love you, Mom, and my sister, but that was a family business.
Right.
So, but to actually wake up in the morning and do what you love,
Yes.
man, is it rewarding.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Because the horses are your passion anyway, and now you get to see the
Help
results
them.
that you can share with them and help them, and it's kind of like us. We have horses that come in here that, for 5 years have had the same problems, and we don't know if we can help them or not. All we can do is provide the service that we provide to everybody else that comes in here, and the care, and try to benefit them in some way. And when you get the text messages that say, hey, my
Right.
horse is running around and doing things it hasn't done in years, it's a feeling that you cannot duplicate. Like,
Right.
it's unbelievable.
I just got a text this afternoon. I actually didn't even get the chance to share it with Amanda yet, that she's like, we're getting ready this week to go to work on the horse again. She's like, how long does it last in a horse? Because we had done her probably almost a month ago.
Yep.
And and I said, well, it depends on the horse. Everybody is different, it depends on the horse and how it goes. She goes, she had the most beautiful pattern that she's ever had.
Wow.
And I said, I'll see you tomorrow for round 2.
Right.
So, it's just great. She goes, she didn't win it, but she had the most beautiful pattern. I said, we're not here to make your horse win. We're here to make your horse feel better.
Feel better.
So it's up to you, take that with what, you want with it. But
It's all about the horse.
And I'm sure you guys are starting to get it too. I mean, the best phone calls is when our backup horse is no longer our backup horse.
really?
I mean, we get those phone calls,
Yeah.
we get those,
Yep.
and you guys probably get them too. Well, man, I don't know which one I want to ride today because one's as good as the other now, and that's fun.
Yep, that's exactly it. It's the reward. Just to know you had just a little piece of, of their healing process. Makes it fun.
When you can walk in the barn with that machine and the horse is licking and chewing, watching you walk in, you're like,
They're like,
they know it
"Again?
feels good.
Again,
Yeah, they're not turning around and looking the other way.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
no, they're leaning into you during the session, standing
I
there.
know that lady.
Yeah.
And it can be, and it's some horses too that don't even have an injury or an issue. It's just aging. Like, can you
Oh,
just
yeah.
put some energy in them just so that they feel good? We have one horse, 35,
I think she's 34,
35, and the owner, bless her heart, referral from you guys, absolutely love her. She's the sweetest. She is promising us mango muffins next time we go out.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty excited about that.
And they're the best too.
Yeah, well, we're
So excited.
That's
Yeah.
But she's
coming
like,
up
can you
soon.
just put some energy into her? I just want,
She
she
just
deserves it, and she feels good. So we can do that too, and it might just be that little top off that the battery needs to just keep chugging along just as they are. So give them a little spot that they deserve too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just don't tell the loved ones about the mango muffins because they will not make it home.
No, they won't make it home. It's like a good hour drive. They'll be gone.
They will be gone, yes. They are
That won't be a
amazing.
problem.
I saved Terry one last time. I messed up. Now I got to bring him home.
Yes, and mangoes are my favorite, so
Yes.
who
Yeah.
knows better.
We'll share.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So what would you say is harder, explaining how it works or convincing people to give it a try?
Convincing people to give it a try. I can explain it. You know, I mean, I just feel that passion about it, how to explain it. But like Amanda says, it's not what you see, it's what you don't see.
Right.
So, you know, people think, oh, that's voodoo. And before we got into this machine, I spent a lot of money on having my husband, my horse, you know, get it done to see. I'm like, you know, my husband's very skeptical on things, and he checks out, he does deep dives into everything. So for us to realize that it's not a voodoo thing, it really does work. You know, it's hard for people to see that. And like you said, horses don't talk to say, oh, thanks, Mom, I feel better now, you know. But when they go to ride them next time, then they're like, wow, his stride, he felt better, or he felt looser, or he actually turned to the right and it didn't fight me. So, you know, once they feel it, then they're convinced. But to get them to that point, because they don't see like a physical difference right away, the licking and yawning, yes, that's huge. I mean, and we love to see that, but other people sometimes don't realize that's such a huge thing.
Right.
What's
And
going
when-
on at
Yes.
that point?
And when that's the only thing you've changed, then they realize, oh, well, you know, that's what I did, and this is why it's better. So it does, you do see the results or feel the results. It's just not something that you can see in front of your eyes. So, and except for the licking and
And if only Lisa works on your horse and you wait a week and you go get an SI injection or a hock injection. And that hock injection is the best hock injection you've ever had on your horse. You know, or SI injections. Or it lasts longer
Correct.
than it ever has.
Yeah, correct.
You know, I mean, either way, you may not see what it does at that point in time. But as simple as you have a horse that has spurs or hocks that are fusing and they're trying to just inject to keep them sound as long as they can, and this machine complements that and your injections last longer,
That's what we want to do is complement. We're not trying to replace any.
that's a
like
win.
it's like we said, it's the team. It takes all of the pieces in the puzzle. But if you're still climbing that uphill battle, and this can just be enough to level out the playing field, then it's worth a shot. It can't hurt you.
And for me as a farrier, it's just been another tool.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
been.
you've seen differences. With it.
I've seen big differences. I mean,
And I can't wait for you to do that horse's feet that had bad feet after we've done
A few sessions.
yeah.
to see for how much growth and stuff, because you've seen it, and every horse reacts differently. So it may take longer, it may be sooner, but all we can do is put the energy in there and let the body take over.
It's a huge tool, and it's another part to a big village of practitioners we have. You know, it just keeps growing. You know, which is okay. I'm okay with that. You know, I mean, anything we can do, adding spokes in the wheel, guys, is not a problem. You know,
The more support you have, it's just support.
another spoke in the wheel just makes that wheel stronger.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and we just got to remember to put that horse in the middle of it.
Yep.
You know, not us.
Yeah, not our egos.
It's not about us. It's not about. It's not about. Well, is it gonna work or isn't it? You know, give
do you got to
give the
lose?
practitioners the information and see what it does. You know, because you know, when I was tough, man. I was shoeing. I've been shoeing now for 35 years, and a little bit about me. And I always had that I looked for. I got involved in homeopathic medicine, and I was trying new shoes, new shoeing principles, new all this, and every bit of it that I did, I took something out of. And for me, as a farrier, there's been a lot of missing pieces. You know, osteopathy has completed a lot of that, and then you bring it to a cellular level that you go, oh my gosh, you know, it's crazy. So, you know, you have, I'm very blessed. I get to work with some great veterinarians, some of the best in the world, some great therapists, some of the best in the world. And then you start throwing something in that works at a cellular level. You're like, oh my gosh, there's more. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I thought, man, I've got it. It's working. And then Lisa gets this machine,
There's
and it's
more.
like, hey, let me show you this. And I was like, wow. You know?
Yeah, and inflammation, we all know how it affects our bodies. And it's like the silent killer. And if we can reduce the inflammation in ourselves and the horses, it's a big win. It's a piece of the puzzle that puts it together to make all the other pieces work.
Right. The good part about the machine, which is behind me, but it has two modes in it. It has mode 1 and mode 2. So mode 1, when we do a protocol, It works on the neurological side. So it kind of targets the pain receptors for your brain to relax so the body can heal. Our problem is our brains never stop, and I know yours never does. So if our brains can't stop to heal, it's to rest, your body can't heal.
Can't heal.
So for this machine to target that area, relax the nerves, relax the pain receptors, say, hey, I got this, let me do my thing, and let's fix these cells. And then when we go through that side of the protocol, then we move over to mode 2. Mode 2 is the soft tissue side. So it search, seeks, and scans that side, which is the soft tissue, the skin, the ligaments, the tendons, the suspensories. So it's looking for that side. So by the time you get done, it's searched and seeked and scanned the whole body in the area that we're targeting to correct the cells and put them back to their homeostasis self. That's a good part about this. It has won a Nobel Peace Prize because it has a mathematical equation inside of it. That's what's so great about being biofeedback, that it knows what those cells are supposed to be. So when we hook it up and it search, seeks, and scans back and forth, it's looking for cells that are not 2 + 2 = 4. When it finds that, then it corrects it. So it's fixing the cells. It's not just putting energy in you, it's putting your cells back to their homeostasis self. And with that being said, then your body is stronger to be able to fight off the disease and the inflammation.
And that's what makes it different from other modalities, is that it's going back and forth and back and forth. So it's, like we mentioned before, using the positive and negative. So we have reds and blues, as we refer to them. So as we're setting up on the horse the plates, we want our reds to speak to our blues back and forth, right? And that's what the machine is reading. It's searching, seeking, scanning, and it's finding its friends, is what we call it. So if there's any kind of impedance between that channel, it will then come back and tell us that. And then we can adjust what we call like the push and the pull, the gain. We have a lot of knobs on that machine. So there's a lot of different things that we can do. So it might not be necessarily the intensity, but the push and the pull to really be able to break through whatever that impedance is. If it's inflammation, if it's scar tissue, any kind of damage to the cells. So we think of it as like a hose that has dirt inside of it. We just kind of keep chipping away and chipping away and chipping away at it until it's a clean, nice, smooth channel back and forth. So a lot of other modalities, again, work great with this, but it doesn't have that biofeedback to where the machine is getting the feedback back and then giving us numbers to be able to adjust and really get a lot out of a protocol.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah, so you know, guys, she said there's a lot of buttons and knobs. Don't freak out, because that thing looks like the inside of a spaceship.
And it sounds like one too.
Yes.
And it sounds like one, too.
Yes. It's very intimidating, but...
And Clayton, tell us a little bit about the first session you had. How did you respond? What was it? Scary? Was it hokey? What?
Were you licking and chewing?
Yeah, were you looking and chewing?
I had the
I
best
think
sleep
you
that
named-
night I ever slept in my life, to be honest.
And you don't drink water.
And I don't drink water, and I've gotten better.
You should.
No, I've gotten better. Ever since that, I've gotten better. And back then I wasn't real good at staying away from the caffeine either, you know, and now that's all I drink is water. So, but I'll tell you, it's, you know, for anybody that doesn't know, a lot of you guys that don't know me out there, you know, I've got severe back problems. You know, I go for back injections about every 3 to 4 months, and I get epidurals, and I'll tell you, that machine, before that, I was getting 2.5 to maybe 3 months, and since that, I get 3, almost 4 months out of them. You know, and if it's just that, well, that's a win. You know, I take it, and you know, and I go through a lot of stress zones. You know, we're on our own business, and we have a lot goes on here that we don't sleep, we don't go crazy, and you know, and just as simple as, you know, I went to Lisa one time. I was like, man, my elbow's killing me, and I've got a 35-year farrier elbow that doesn't straighten. You know, and I'm always wearing a tendonitis thing and all that. And she goes, and I was there shoeing her horse, and she's like, come back, go home, take a shower, and come back. I went back, and I went like 3 or 4 sessions maybe, and I can straighten it about 25% more than I could have. You know, so I mean, no, it didn't take me back to where I was 16.
But did you go and work the next day and the next day and the
Oh,
next
yes.
day? Right. So you felt good enough to do that, but that's the thing. So it depends on what you do or how long it will last.
Right. And guys, and you guys out there, so you get worked on, your horse gets worked on. It's really important, if you can, to pick a day that you're going to have a few days off. Let it sit. Get that 24 to 48 hours of time of not doing nothing, because now, if I have it done, I go on Friday. I don't go on Wednesday, because it doesn't last as long and it doesn't work as well, because the next morning I'm right back swinging that hammer, working in the forge.
And it depends if it's acute or chronic. That's the big thing. Because we can do the session and you can get right back on and ride your horse if you had to.
Absolutely.
Right? So, but it depends on what your situation is. If you do have something chronic, it is better to kind of wait, let that energy go, because it takes 24 hours for it to run through all your meridians and the chi, to work. So the long, give it at least a day or so to work, but you can definitely do it and then ride that night, whatever.
Absolutely.
Just make sure that you're hydrated.
Yeah, there's nothing in it that's going to stop you from doing it.
Right.
And like Amanda said earlier, it shouldn't hurt.
Right. We shouldn't feel anything.
No.
And it doesn't hurt. Clayton likes to make Lisa think it hurts.
She
but-
will slap you if you.
No, I punched him. I punched him because the very worst thing you would feel with this is like a bee sting, like a strong bee sting. So it's not like an electrical shock. It's just a bee sting. So yeah, Clayton pretended that he felt a bee sting. So he went, and I'm right here working on his shoulder. My face is like right there. And he decided that he was going to pretend to get stung. So he jumped, and I jumped, and I hit him, and it was a whole thing. So
She goes, "Did it really hurt?" I'm like, "No."
yeah.
She goes, "I'm going to hit you again if you do it."
And that zing is because it's finding impedance and bouncing off. So it's trying to find its friend. It couldn't find its friend. It found something else, and it went boing. And because of that, it feels.
But with him, he didn't. His friends were talking.
Correct.
Yeah.
You don't listen to him. Just the
These friends were not talking.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah,
No, not
talking.
after that. It got quiet for a little bit. I don't know why.
I think
It was fun.
But he felt better. But you were able to raise your arm. So that's the thing. Like a lot of times you just feel relief right away.
Right. So if you could have, what's your dream case? If you could choose one animal to work on, fictional or real, and budget didn't matter, and it didn't matter who would you work on, or what animal would you work on?
I would just have to be my horses. I just want them to be the very best they can be. I just have my whole heart in them and want them to be. I mean, I've even taken some other classes online with, like some massage therapy and some bladder pressure point classes that I'm taking, because I just want to be the best I can be for them. They give me their all, and I just feel like I need to give them my all and make them feel as good as I can, as good as they can, if I can do that. So
As a non-horse owner, I really want a case that is like at the end of its rope, and I have the opportunity, budget aside. And there are times that, like, if it's something like we're there for the horse, like we're not. I mean, I'm very grateful. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was enjoying being a stay-at-home mom, but she pulled me out of that real quick. But being able, like a case where they just can't figure it out, and I love solving problems, and if I could really be there doing sessions daily, things like that, and really be able to figure out what's wrong with
for
that
the
animal.
non-believers, vets or owners or whatever, just to let them see, like, wow, that really made a difference.
That's what's fulfilling when it's at the end of that rope, and if I really have the opportunity to be able to go there religiously and make a difference. And when you can see, and just like with that other horse, I almost said his name, with the other horse, when you can physically see their eyes brighten, or you can see them just drop their head like they hadn't dropped their head in so long, or the horse that has heaves, when you can see that we got there, her eyes are this big and she's breathing so hard and her eyes are finally resting. It's the most fulfilling feeling. And if someone, because this machine does work so differently than everything else, a vet has a case that they just can't figure out, give us an opportunity just to try it.
Sometimes, this might not be your problem, but it puts enough fires out for the vet to find it.
Yep.
That's the thing. Like, let us pick away at something, so maybe you can find something else.
Let us help the symptom so you can find the root cause. Let's get all the dust settled.
As a corrective shoer, I mean, I do that all the time. I do all the time. Well, the vet thinks he's got this. Well, let's show him for that. Well, he's still not quite, and then we show him for this, and then we do this body work, and then we do this. Well, and then we put enough fires out that he goes, it's right there. Sometimes there's just such a big fire burning that you don't
know where to
you don't know where the source is.
Yeah.
What comes first, chicken or the egg at that point?
Well, and that's the thing with
You
this
know?
machine too. You don't know what's wrong, something's wrong. Let us just start getting some inflammation away and see if it starts telling
Right.
us something.
Right.
So, yeah.
And it never lies to us. Like there's so many times it's hilarious. We're like, oh, yep, it's right there. And no, it doesn't tell us obviously right front this is wrong.
Right.
But when we're doing our simulations and things like that, and I have a lead from the left of the neck all the way down to left front, and the same on the right side, and I plug in the left side, and it goes wah, and it's telling me there's something here. I do it to the right side, and it's lit up all as well. It found its friend. I'm like, okay, now we kind of have an idea. So it's really cool to see when you don't always have an idea of where it is. When you do and a vet's diagnosed it, beautiful. Makes our life very easy. We know exactly where to go. But if not, we still have the ability to kind of hopefully.
Right. And you
Pinpoint an
guys,
area.
you guys are not practitioners, so it's kind of a tough world. But
Right.
when this machine takes an area this big and it starts to shrink it, and it shrinks it, and that's how it works. It clears an area this big. Well, we got to zone in on where it goes. Well, it may not be where the problem is, but that's where the inflammation is going. So, anybody that's been around horses for a long time and worked on athletes and things like that, we kind of go, we kind of know what it is, but we don't have the education to say it. So a lot of times, when we have a personal relationship with the veterinarians, we can call them and say, hey, doc, this is where it is. This is where we found it. Just take a peek here. And, and if you have a good relationship with your vet, I as a farrier, I do it as well. And we tiptoe over that line, but we're not stepping over that line. We're talking to the vet because we have a good relationship. Here's what I found.
Yeah.
See what you can find.
Yeah.
Well, that not only saves the vet a lot of aggravation and us a lot of aggravation and everyone else, the owner, it also can save time and money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we can say something's going on with the left front. Maybe take and let them check out, the left side.
Say that frequently, and we'll say we can do as much as we can, but go to the vet and see what they say, and you let us know, and then we can really target it and we can really hammer into that spot. Because at the end of the day, it's all collaboration.
And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we found something right in this area. There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's a lot of training that you've been able to do that allows you to understand different areas. And the company Equiscope provides you with a lot of knowledge and classes and things like that. But you can also go outside of that. Like you said, the massage therapy.
Yeah, on my own,
sessions,
just do those, yes.
the acupressure, all of those other things that tie together that just give you more knowledge to be able to give the horse as much as you can.
Yes.
So.
And you'll see us in sessions. We have our books with our acupressure points and stuff, and we're flipping, and we want to get every horse, every dog, every person is so different. And they're even, you have shoulder pain and you have shoulder pain, but you also got something going on in your neck, and you've got something going on in your hand. So it's not always going to be the exact same plates or the exact same thing that I'm doing for different problems. So we want to customize it to that horse, every single person. So we have our books and things like that because we want to make it as specific to them and as beneficial as absolutely possible. Yeah. If it's a one and a done, we're like, heck yeah, we won.
Right.
Do we want to see you again? Absolutely. Come back to us. But, if we can get that, we feel super fulfilled, and that's what we strive for, is getting the most out of a session as possible.
And where you guys said, and if I was in the medical field where I was fixing problems in the medical field and they didn't have to return to me, the best thing could happen is you fixed them, they don't have any problems, and they'll see you again.
100%.
Once a year, he run around the pasture and it's funny here. That's the perfect world.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they find you?
We are on Facebook, Instagram, and you can definitely message us through either of those avenues, and they come to both of us. Our website as well, Current Healing Solutions for Instagram, Facebook, and then our website as well, currenthealingsolutions.com. It does have links for cases as well, not just cases that we've done, but cases that the company has done. And I really encourage people to go look through that and see the different horse cases and things like that. And also, if we talked way too fast or you were doing other things while you're listening to this podcast, it explains what the Equiscope is again.
Or contact us, message us. We love answering questions.
Yeah, that I will say that the fact that you answer the questions and give the information, and people don't frustrate you by asking the questions.
I encourage it. I want them to understand what I'm doing to the horse.
Right.
I don't want them just to say, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm just putting energy in the horse feeler. Okay, and then they go sit on their phone. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to engage them the whole time that I'm working on it to understand, like, this spot ST36, which is stomach 36. This does this, bladder 40. Like, I want them to understand where I'm putting them, and I'll show them in the book, like, this is for this, this, and this. So they understand what I'm doing to their horse, so they know the benefits that we're targeting, because, like Amanda said, we're trying to get the best out of this session that we can. So let's hit the points that we need. I'm just not throwing plates. I can.
Right.
We could just put the plates anywhere on the horse, and it's going to help, but let's do the best we can and hit the
Educating
spots
owners.
and educate the owners and understand why we're doing what we're doing and why is there blue tape all over your horse.
Right. And then when they notice that something's changed, they know, oh, okay, wait, this was that point she was talking about. Now I get it. But yes, there's always a lot of blue tape all over the horse, and that's gel, yeah. But that keeps the plates on, and that's what we need. So
Yeah, and I think it's the biggest word of advice I give, and I give it at my conferences when I speak at conferences and to my clientele and to the guys that work for me. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because the owners will say, well, this is a dumb question. I said, please ask me.
Yeah,
There's
there's
no
no
dumb
there's no
question.
such thing.
I know that people say that all the time, but there's no dumb question.
No, there's
If
not.
I can't answer it, if Amanda can't answer it, we'll get the answer. We'll go to corporate. We'll.
And that one's farther from the dumbest, because that's information that you didn't get, that you don't have.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely. Well, ladies, it's been fabulous talking to you tonight. We really enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about Equiscope, and I know that everybody that's listening to the podcast is going to really enjoy understanding it.
That's our goal, is to understand what this machine is that looks like it's from outer space. So call us, or go on our website and you can see what it looks like.
Yeah, there you go.
It's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure, and thank you for tuning in to Echoes and Embers, and we will be back with another podcast soon. Have a great night. Bye-bye.